Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture for September 7th of 2025 is titled All the Water on Planet Earth. So what do we see here? Well, the large image there is our Earth to scale, but with all the water removed. And we often think of Earth as a water world because 3/4 of Earth's surface is covered by water. However, in reality, Earth has very little water compared to other objects in the solar system, especially the outer parts of the solar system, where water is much more plentiful. So again, we think of ourselves as a water world, but compare the Earth there to that largest blue sphere. That large blue sphere there, which fits easily within inside the United States, is all of the water on Earth. That is all of it. If you took all of the Earth and all of the oceans, all of the lakes, all of the rivers, all of the ice caps, all of the atmospheric water, all of the underground water, all the water that makes up things on Earth like plants and animals and humans like us, all of that water, that would be how much water there is on Earth. And it ends up being that sphere about 700 kilometers in size, so about half the diameter of Earth's moon. So an idea, it's really a very small amount of water. In fact, there are moons in the outer solar system that are similar size and are almost all pure water ice. So there is a lot of water in the solar system, and there is a lot on Earth, but we have to remember it's only that very surface layer. So if you could imagine peeling the very thin outer crust of Earth off, the rest of that is very devoid of water, and the Earth is very dry once you get down below those few miles that make up Earth's crust. Now there's several other balls there too. You can see two smaller ones next to it. The next one, the second one, is the liquid fresh water. So that's the water that is fresh, drinkable water in liquid form. And that is, again, much smaller. Of course, a lot of the water is tied up in oceans or ice caps. That is why the sphere gets so much smaller here. And the tiny little dot down below that is the lakes and the rivers. The water that we use, for the most part, comes from the lakes and rivers there. And that is only a tiny sphere there, because most of that fresh water, probably 99% of it, is tied up in groundwater, which is generally not accessible. So we get down to that little tiniest one is something only about 35 miles in diameter. So think about that. All of the water that we're using fits in a sphere 35 miles in diameter. That's the typical water that we use on the surface of the Earth. Most of the rest of that is salt water, and a lot of the others are groundwater. So when you look at those larger spheres, they include a lot of water that isn't easily accessible for us to use. So when we think about Earth and water, we really have to consider that even though we consider ourselves a water world, we are very lacking in water compared to many of the objects in the outer parts of the solar system, where there are, again, many moons of the solar system that have far more water than Earth has, even though they are significantly smaller in size. So that was our picture of the day for September 7th of 2025. It was titled All the Water on Planet Earth. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture, previewed to be Butterfly Web. So we'll see what that is about tomorrow. And until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.